Okay, this is a short demonstration of retrieving records from the new Web of Science API. I have a piece of code here that takes our authorization key to create a SOAP API client and to instantiate a new instance of a query object that can run some queries against their API. And tested this. I'll run it again and create some debug info. Actually, I won't run it again. It takes a little while. So here's a screen scroll of the debug info, and essentially it's getting 100 records at a time. And for this particular author, we have 464 records. The data structure comes back in an encoded XML form. We decode it, and we get a records object that has 464 records. We can look at the unique identifiers for those records, and we get a WAS prefix where it's a Web of Science unique identifier, and a Medline prefix where it's a Medline or PubMed record that's been somehow integrated into the Web of Science queries. We're querying the Web of Knowledge database, which is a global wrapper around all the databases available. Okay, so if we look at the records, we can look at them in XML form. So we're getting back something called a rec, has a unique identifier, and static data, which contains all the publication information. And we have, authors. We have some information about the research support that the publication was funded from. We have the full record information, including some subject headings. We have the grant information, so funding acknowledgement, grants information with some grant details in there. We have an abstract and some additional information, citation details. It's interesting that there's this comments and corrections list. So this is something of a linked list from this particular publication to additional information that is supplemented or corrected the original publication. There's some mesh headings, and what else do we have here? Some topics, some additional identifiers, they're identifying something by a PubMed ID, and so on. So we're currently working on integrating this set of record retrieval into the rest of the code base so that we can harvest from these records and map the fields and data from these new records into the into some of our existing data structures. Our first task is to evaluate, the extent to which we can map these new data records into our existing data schemas. The ongoing work for this project is in the SUL-PUB repository. That's the DLSS SUL-PUB repository. Okay, I think that's a wrap.